Stomach. Sagittarius. The art card. Now, in traditional decks, this is called the Temperance card, and it usually shows an angel with fire or lightning in one hand and a cup of liquid, an elixir, a cup of liquid in the other hand. And the angel is pouring the liquid, the elixir, from the cup onto a lion. And the lion is white. And the angel is dumping the fire on an eagle. And the eagle is red. Now, in the tarot, well, in astrology, Sagittarius is on the opposite pole of Gemini. So we got a pole running through the zodiac wheel with Gemini on one side and Sagittarius on the opposite pole. Now, the Gemini tarot card is the Lovers. And in the Thoth deck, anyway, the Lovers is the sacred marriage of the alchemical wedding of Christian Rosenkreuz. And in alchemy terms, that wedding, that Gemini, that Lovers card is the Solve portion of the formula Solve et Coagula. And the art card is the Coagula part. It's all very clean. It links up the two alchemical cards quite beautifully. Crowley's ritual for attainment of the knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel is called Liber Samekh. And I guess in honor of that climactic phase of the alchemical formula Solve et Coagula. I just wanted to get that out. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Happy Saturday, everyone. That's as close as the cartoon, I think, as we're going to get. But I wanted to talk about the Holy Guardian Angel this morning. And I went about being obsessed with doing this morning. I've done it, several times over the past few years, because I am thrilled to be working on a new introduction to a book that I wrote 30 years ago. Actually, I probably wrote it 31 or 32 years ago, but it was first published by Weiser in 1993. And it was called The Magic of the Lima. And oddly enough, it was one of my first books. It was actually the first book that I did on my own without having to co-author it with Christopher Hyatt. I did 4 titles with that wonderful, colorful character, Christopher Hyatt, prior to it. But this is the first book that I authored, under my own name, of course, with Aleister Crowley. And it was published by Weiser. Now, I don't know what happened. I think there was a terribly cold spell wherever it was that they actually printed the book. And there must have been a power outage or something, but it was a perfect bound book. In other words, it's one of these paperback books that are just glued there. The glue didn't hold up. And so I was thrilled to get the first copy of the book. I was so proud. And I opened it up and started to read, and the pages were falling out. So it was an edition that many of the books were flawed books. So the reason I'm telling you this is because it sold really well. Okay, as occult books go, it sold very well, and I was so pleased, and Weiser was so pleased. But I think it sold very well, at least initially, because the first one fell apart, and everybody had to buy two of them. So that probably doubled the sales figures. It immediately went into a Smythsonian edition to fix that. So that was in 1993. And 10 years later, it was still selling well. And they decided to do like a 10-year anniversary reissue of it with a new cover. Not only that, but it was decided, and I really agreed, that we alter the title to read The Magic of Aleister Crowley. The first one was The Magic of Lima, The Handbooks of the Ritual of Aleister Crowley. But so many people, especially initially, who weren't familiar with Thelema, but they were familiar with the name Aleister Crowley, they said, "Who is Thelma? Magic of Thelma. I don't want to do any Thelma magic." So we switched it around. So the title of that new edition that came out 20 years ago was The Magic of Aleister Crowley, the Handbook of the Rituals of Thelema. Okay. And it's done well, too. But now, 20 years after that, 30 years after the initial publishing, which will be 2023, the book is being, I guess, enshrined or inserted into a new Weiser series of classics of magic. And I'm just absolutely thrilled. My mind is sort of blown that the book has worked out very well over the years. And frankly, I think it's one of the best things I've ever done. And I'm just tickled to death that it's found an honored place in the literature of modern occultism. So I'm working on, to make a long story just long, working on a brand new introduction to the upcoming. It'll be out in the spring of 2023 for the 30th anniversary commemoration, I guess, if you will. And so I'm working on a new introduction to expand and to make it a valuable addition. If you've already got either of the two earlier ones, it'll be worth your while getting it too. And I thought this morning, what would be the best thing I could share with from this book this morning for our Saturday morning gathering. And so literally, I mentally asked my holy guardian angel, what should I do? And the answer back was just sort of, duh. I asked, so I'm going to read a little bit of what I have to say about Crowley's rituals concerning the holy guardian angel. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Okay, never mind. It is chapter 8. Okay, knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel. The epigrams are from Crowley's Magic in Theory and Practice. The single supreme ritual is the attainment of the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel. It is the raising of the complete man in a vertical straight line. Any deviation from this line tends to become black magic. Any other operation is black magic. If the magician needs to perform any other operation than this, it is only lawful insofar as it is unnecessary preliminary to that one work. In other words, till you get the holy guardian angel, all your other work tends to take you off the path one way or another. Unless, of course, you're doing it to remove obstacles that is keeping you from the knowledge and conversation. I say in paraphrase. No aspect of the magic of the Lima is more important than the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel. It is the classic and universal personal religious experience. Until attained, no vision, ritual, invocation, evocation, conjuration, divination, yogic discipline, or magical practice can be truly efficacious or trustworthy. It is the unacknowledged central truth underlying the world's so-called great religions and the key to the understanding of the myths upon which they are founded. The holy guardian angel is the divine object of devotion of the Bhakti yogi, Krishna to the Hindu, Christ to the Christian. No matter by what name or in what form, the holy guardian angel transfigures the devotee and bestows bliss and an expanded consciousness which is prerequisite to any further spiritual experience or attainment. The concept of the HGA is ancient, but the term holy guardian angel, as it's used in magic, is relatively new. In 1888, Golden Dawn adept S.L. MacGregor Mathers translated an extraordinary 15th century grimoire called The Book of the Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage. And since I've wrote those words, a more complete version of the Magic of Abramelin, the Book of Abramelin, has been translated directly from the original German and is now available. So Mather's translation, that it was always published as The Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage, is fragmentary. It's a fragment, if you will, translated probably several times into French, and Mathers translated the French fragment and published it as The Sacred Magic. But that's a footnote and a digression. Sorry about that. Purportedly written in 1458 by Abraham the Jew, an enigmatic character not without historical credentials in Central European court intrigues. So Abraham the Jew was an alchemist and a known traveling wizard, sort of Count Saint Germainish in his ability to pass in and out of the courts of Central Europe. This remarkable work proved to be quite unlike any other magical text. While contemporary grimoires sent would-be magicians on endless scavenger hunts, tracking down bat's blood, eye of newt, etc., in order to summon the power to bewitch the neighbor's cow or repel the evil eye, Abramelin introduces a novel idea. In order to receive real magic power, the magician must first actually become an individual of superior spiritual integrity. To exercise godlike powers, one must be godlike. Pious affirmations and the parroting of precomposed magical incantations are useless unless the magician be truly a holy person. This simple yet profound theory was a radical departure from the primitive techniques of medieval European magic and elevated the art to a level comparable to the yogic sciences of the East. The Book of the Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage postulates that every individual has a holy guardian angel, a spiritual being unique to each of us. This being, whose true nature can only be adequately explained by itself, is more than a projection of our perfected self. Indeed, until we have united with this being, we do not even possess the equipment necessary to comprehend its nature. By assuming an attitude not unlike that of a lovesick suitor who can do nothing but pine for his beloved, we trigger within ourselves an arsenal of inherent emotional responses which can be focused and amplified to such a degree that union with this abstract lover is actually achieved. In the language of the Kabbalists, we are the final hey, and hey adds to 5, in the Tetragrammaton, Yod He Vav, hey, we're that hey, and hey is a 5, okay? And the Holy Guardian Angel is the Vav of Yod He Vav, hey, and a Vav is the number 6. The HGA is the prince who awakens the sleeping princess. Once this union is realized, both we and our angel are transformed into a higher spiritual being who is capable of truly mastering the unbalanced forces of the lower worlds. Only then are we eligible to receive personal spiritual guidance from the only reliable source in the universe, ourselves. The Kabbalistic environment of the HGA is the 6th Sephirah, Tifereth. Okay, just if I can pull up okay, number 6, right there in the middle. That's the Holy Guardian Angel land. That's the level of right there. Okay. It's almost like we're a sleeping princess down here, and we need to get the kiss of the angel who is right here. And that kiss wakes us up to that level. Now, the path between 6 and 9 is Samic. Okay. Or Sagittarius. Or the Temperance card, the art card. Starting to get it? Okay. Where are we? The Kabbalistic environment of the HGA is the sixth Sephirah Tifereth. In the AA graded system of initiation, it represents the attainment of 5 equals 6, the grade of Adeptus Minor. The Abramelin operation is simple yet arduous. A house where a secured rustic environment is required. The magician must be sufficiently independent and self-reliant enough to continue the operation without interruption for 6 consecutive months. And with the discovery or the translation of the book of Abramelin, that is an 18-month ceremony, but according to the Mathers fragment, it was 6 months. Okay. Every 2 months, the regimen of prayer, fasting, and devotional activities increases in length and in intensity until the near end of the operation. The magician is in a state of perpetual, all-consuming hunger for the angel. Shortly after the angel's arrival, the magician is instructed to call forth the 4 great princes of evil and compel their obedience and extract oaths of allegiance. The next day, the same is done with the 8 sub-princes, and so on until the entire population of the infernal realms have been sworn to obedience and allegiance to the new HGA-ized magician. I'm often asked why the first thing a magician does after 6 months of pious aspiration for the higher spiritual reality is to summon the denizens of hell. The answer is simple. You are not operating in a vacuum. As above, so below. Your angel has descended to vouchsafe you the grace of union. In order to complete the circuit and assume an uninterrupted flow of this divine current, you must in turn descend and transmit that same grace to the world beneath you. I'll digress for a second. When you and the angel are one, you become absolutely supercharged. You're vibrating at an intense level of consciousness that you haven't vibrated before. The angel, if we want to look at it as an objective, separate being, because we're still pretty low on the tree of life where duality still has some kind of meaning. When you become HGAized and the HGA becomes youized, you become a single entity. We're not operating in a vacuum. Everything in your universe, including all of the infernal aspects, all the shadow aspects, all the qliphothic aspects that are still part of your being, become supercharged too. You don't leave them alone. They're connected. They get the jolt too and become more powerful than they've ever been too. So the first thing you do is remind them that they're now working for you. You like that new juice? Okay, you're going to have to promise to use your new supercharged infernal power infernal forces. Like, there's no moral thing attached to it at all. You're going to have to actually recontract them to be your helpers instead of your running amok like burning Drano through your soul. Okay. But I digress. Let's see. You must in turn descend and transmit that same grace to the world beneath you. If you fail to redeem, control, and train the menagerie of your lower nature, those demons will surface as soon as the glow of the angel's presence has faded, and literally play hell with you. In corporate terms, the workers will eventually revolt if management does not share with them the benefits of increased profits. Are you listening, Amazon? Individuals who admit to attempting the sacred magic of Abramelin the Mage are rare. It is rarer still to find credible individuals who maintain that they have successfully executed the formal procedure, at least that is outlined in the sacred magic. Israel Regarde once told me that, with the exception of Crowley, he knew of no one who successfully concluded an Abramelin operation. Well, now remember, I'm writing this in 1992 and 3. There has since been a wonderful, wonderful book called After the Angel by my friend Marcus Katz, who did indeed execute and chronicle his Abramelin experience. So if you have the opportunity to read After the Angel by Marcus Katz, I would have said that instead of this sentence here. But anyway, Crowley made 2 attempts before successfully completing it. He purchased Boleskine House on the shores of Loch Ness for the express purpose of performing the operation. And it's so wonderful. Even now as we speak, it's being restored. Well, anyway, I digress. I'm excited about a lot of things today. He was interrupted first in 1900 to go to Mather's aid in Paris during the period of the collapse of the Golden Dawn. Then in 1903 to marry his first wife, Rose. When he finally succeeded, it was under the most unbelievably difficult circumstances. In 1906, while walking across China, he mentally performed the invocation of the Holy Guardian Angel. The entire procedure was internalized. The temple, the furniture, the accoutrements, all visualized and projected upon the screen of his mind and held there by intense concentration. The invocations and the prayers were mentally rehearsed day after day. So focused was his concentration that at one point it took him several moments to realize that he and his pony had both fallen over a cliff. His success proved to him that the basic formula and procedures of the Abramelin operation were viable. It also became clear that as long as the general program of invoking often and inflaming oneself with prayer was strictly followed, the particulars of the ceremony could vary considerably from those laid down in the 1458 text. And it was during this period that he developed the techniques that would form the basis of what he would consider, quote, the most powerful and exalted of all my magical instructions, unquote. And that is Liber Samec. And I think that's where we'll stop today. And for Sunday school, we'll talk more about this Liber Psalmic tomorrow, hopefully. So until then, Constance has a flat tire on her bike. We tried to pump it up yesterday and I probably broke it. We're going to have to get the bike in the car, and I'm going to have to drive over this morning to the bike shop. So I got important stuff to do today. Besides, I got to work on this new introduction. So until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.